Alright, so now we're going to look at using the go-to freezing panes, shading, wrapping, and rotating cell entries, which is the last topic of chapter 8 on page 246 of your book. So first we're going to look at using the go-to and the go-to special commands. Then we'll look at freeze panes, and then we'll do some more formatting with column headings and the fill colors, as well as some wrapping text and rotating cell entries. So on large documents, step 1 on page 846 is to open the NSC supplies inventory and then save it as the 8.9 in your working directory. I've already done that. Notice that this document is pretty long. It's got a lot of rows. It's probably even less viewable on the monitor you're on because I've got a big widescreen monitor that I use. But when there's a lot of rows, you tend to get lost in the document and it's hard to navigate. So the go-to and the go-to special command allow you to jump to places in the document that you want, and then also freeze panes is going to let us keep some rows at the very top always visible for when you scroll. So to begin, we're going to go toward the bottom of the document and we want to go back to cell A4. So we're going to use the Find and Select button on the editing group of the Home tab, and we're going to select Go To. And here we're going to type in A4, and what that's going to do is it's going to make our active cell A4. So it's just the easy way to jump back and forth in the document to certain places. Next we're going to use the Find and Select button again. This time we're going to go to special, and this gives us a lot of options of what we can go to, but we're going to go to the last cell of this document. We're going to push OK, and what that does is it gives us the furthest down the rows and farthest right value that there is in the document and puts our active cell there. So it's the very last cell of the document. Like I mentioned, we're going to go back to A4. So we're going to use Find and Select, Go to A4, and then we're going to scroll up. Like I mentioned earlier, it's very beneficial if at least this third row are viewable as we scroll down, so we can see what in the world these are whenever you're further in the document. And that's what we're going to do now. So now we've got A4 selected. Still, we're going to go up to the View tab, and then we're going to click on Freeze Panes and Freeze Panes here. So what that does is it doesn't look like it changed anything, except there's this little dominant line right here. But what it did was, whenever we had A4 selected, everything above it is now frozen at the top of the document. So now when we scroll, those 3 rows stay at the top no matter where you are in the document. It just really, really helps for navigating and moving around in these larger documents. Now we're going to look at changing some formatting of the column headings. And you can do this to just label titles, column headings, make certain cell values stand out, as well as just draw emphasis to wherever you need to be in the document. It's very similar to how we did it in Word with the table that we put into Word with fill colors. But we're going to look at changing these A1 and A2 and A3 to various shades of orange. So the first step, we're going to make A1 the active cell. This is step 13 of page 247. And on the Home tab in the Font group, we're going to select the Fill color drop down. And we want Orange Accent 6, which is the last color in the third row of the theme colors right here. When you mouse over it, shows Orange Accent 6. Notice as you mouse over different colors, it does update, and it won't take effect until you click on a color. So now in A2 through M2, we're going to change the fill color of it to an Orange Accent Lighter 6, which is the last option in the third row. So Orange Accent Lighter 60%. Now A3 through M3, we're going to do the same thing, except for we're going to do a lighter 80% on this one, which is the last option in the second row. Right there, see 80%. I'm going to click off that and you can just see how we change those. Just helps that title to stand out. And remember, as we scroll, those 3 will stay up there as well. So now step 17 is to make M3 the active cell. So with M3 active, we're going to change the row height to 30 and the column width to 10. So format row height, like we've done earlier, to 30. Push OK. We're going to change format column width to 10. And notice, now we have this overlap because the column is too narrow. So to fix that, we're going to wrap the text of this column. So M3 is still active, and we're going to select the wrap text of the alignment group. And notice now the text is wrapped to fit within that column. We're going to make D3 the active cell. And we're going to change this column width to 9 just so it's not taking up so much space for very few digits. So format, column width, change it to 9. And again, just like with M3 earlier, we lose some of that heading, so we're going to wrap that text again by clicking the Wrap Text button of the alignment group. You can also change the orientation of the text in a cell. So what we're going to do now is we're going to select E3 through L3. And we're going to put a little bit of an angle orientation on these. So to do that, on the alignment group, we're going to select the orientation button. On the drop down, we're going to select angle counterclockwise. And now you can see those text labels have angled a little bit to fit in those cells a little bit better. I'm going to select out of that. We're going to go open up the Print tab backstage view by going to File, Print. We're going to change this landscape to orientation so that it'll fit better. Notice now we have our columns. So far we still have some missing over here, so we're going to do a fit all columns on one page. Just like that. Size has been adjusted so that now we have all columns on one page on a landscape format. So we're going to go back home, we're going to save that document, and that's it for Chapter 8.